Welcome to the Country Hipster Podcast. My name is Paul. I am the Country Hipster. I'm going to skip a little bit around here, so bear with me. It's a little different than what we usually do. First, I'm going to get to the business. This Saturday, November the 18th, I am playing at Tirnano in Trenton, New Jersey on Hamilton Avenue with this motherfucker right here. He is going to be bartending, so you can come out Saturday night to Tirnano in Trenton, and you can hang out with the Country Hipster and the official bartender of the Country Hipster Podcast. And I'll be playing some tunes, and we'll be drinking some beers, and we'll have fun there. And then for next Friday, 11/24, Black Friday, we got the Wine and Vinyl pop-up event for the Ottsville Record Garage, which is at Wycombe Vineyards in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. What's up? You okay?
Oh, I'm just getting beer.
Oh, okay. You're just getting beer. All right, cool. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
It's fucking dry, man.
Yes. I'm sorry. So I will.
OVP.
So, as you notice, the gentleman behind Max Headroom here is getting a beer at the moment. This is the official bartender of the Ottsville Record Garage and the Country Hipster Podcast, Tom Bernhard. Hi. How do you say your last name, kid?
Bernhard.
Bernhard, there you go. But this is not a booze and vinyl episode, but either way, we have Tom on here, and that's okay.
This is just us trying to convince Tom that he is the third host of this podcast.
He is.
Well, I was here, so there's that.
No. Every time I say it, you're like, well, I'm the bartender. But like, no, you're the third host of this podcast.
There's nothing wrong with
I enjoy being on with you guys.
Exactly.
This is fun.
Absolutely. We love having you. Now, right here to my left in the little boob tube here, getting his screen time in, is my man, the writer of our theme song, Dirty Knife, and singer for the Unholy Four for Charlottesville, Virginia, longtime friend and a former bandmate of mine, the country punk. Let's give it up for my boy Sean right here. All right.
You got the pointer. You got the cursor right in front of my man's face. Let's get it off his chin.
All right, it's
there
off
you
his
go.
chin. He likes some stuff on his chin. You what's that, Sean? You drinking your beer?
What are you doing to my fucking face?
Oh man, wouldn't you like to know? So, so let's give a big welcome to Sean here. So Sean, the Unholy Four is on a little bit of a hiatus right now, but what are you doing musically?
I just got back from playing music, as a matter of fact. Same guys in the band, just kind of hunkering down, writing stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And you also are a very prolific junker. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And what do you got going on with that? What is the name of the? I know you guys have a booth. We've mentioned it before. You have a booth set up in an antique mall in Charlottesville, or where exactly is that?
It's in Ruckersville, which is just north of Charlottesville.
Okay.
It's called the Ruckersville Gallery. It's like an antique mall. We have a booth in there. Our business is called Moonrise Salvage and Surplus.
Nice.
And it's about that.
Yeah.
Kind of just vintage kind of stuff, you know.
I will tell you, you've sent me some really cool fucking shit. I got these like cool like PBR glasses. I got some like Canada Dry Club Soda glasses from you guys. And I mean, here's my hardest part with like what you're doing with the junk in there is that like I see you guys post stuff on Instagram, which you can follow you guys on Moonrise Salvage and Surplus, right, on Instagram.
Sure.
As well as the Facebook, and I see stuff and I'm like, man, I want to fucking buy that, and I don't, because I want you guys to sell it to somebody else so you don't have to ship it to. But yeah, tons of cool tons of cool shit on there. So
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes. But also, to my far left here, we have a very special moment here. We have to give a very special welcome to my co-host and brother, Adam, the country birthday boy.
That's true. As of when we were recording this, it hasn't happened yet. But when this episode airs, my birthday will have passed.
It will, and I have, in true country hipster fashion, I have a gift for you.
Oh shit!
Yes.
Is it this bag? Because
No.
I can't find mine that Nick gave me.
There's a bag in the bag, but you should definitely open up this gift while you're here.
Right.
And this is definitely.
So I already saw the top.
I know
of
it's
it.
gonna be Mexican beer.
Yeah, I already saw the top, and it's fucking Corona bottle. So,
Is it the good ones?
No. It's the
All right.
absolute worst Corona beers.
It is the worst Corona beer.
It absolutely is.
So Paul got me a 6-pack of Corona, a pack of the cigarettes that I smoke, and a greeting card, which he knows that I hate.
Yes,
so let's open up
which
this.
is even better. So check
see
out that
what-
greeting
Is
card.
it just gonna have the word? Just gonna have a C-bomb written in
Is
there?
this
No,
is
no,
this,
that's his boyfriend's.
is this
I am
appropriate?
the
Is this what's on the
It's-
card?
oh, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
was like, Ryan is in the room. So
It's
let's-
all
You're
good.
not gonna injure her. She'll
Yes.
be fine. She's heard all these words before.
Oh, let's see. It says, when I wish you a happy birthday, I dot the I's with hearts, and there's a bunch of cupcakes. And on the inside, he wrote, happy... Is that 17th? Is that what that says?
Yeah, but you didn't read. You got to read the other message.
Oh, I'm sorry. Stay sweet, stay sweet birthday, girl. Happy 17th birthday. Love you. 623,198.25 children?
Yes,
I have a quarter child?
you have a quarter of a child.
It's
So,
a leap year next year.
Yeah.
so
That's awesome.
as most people know, I never know when Adam. How old are you anyway?
This year I will be turning 33.
You'll be turning 33. So when you guys are seeing this, he will be officially 33 years old.
He's a baby.
I know.
Wait, it's 2023.
It is.
Yeah, I'll be 33.
He'll be 33. Okay.
year.
As of recording this, I'll be 33 in 2 days.
And if you do follow the podcast, you know that Adam hates greeting cards and finds them completely
useless and pointless and
which-
a waste of my life and
Exa-
time and money. And,
Exactly.
yeah.
And also he hates Mexicans. So, which is why we got him the Mexican beer.
Jesus.
Yes. But we are not here for any of that. We are not here for a birthday celebration. We are here to talk about Fugazi Repeater. So I'm going to give you the factoids.
And this is Fugazi Repeater minus the 3 songs.
Minus the 3 songs.
Okay.
We'll
Original
talk about the
Repeater.
Yeah,
3
we'll
songs,
get
but
there.
This, so this is the. I didn't realize this. This is actually the full-length debut of the American post-hardcore band, released on April 19th, 1990 on LP.
What was the year? Or month?
1990. April 19th, 1990.
So
Now,
this album's a little bit older than I am.
all right. So, Sean, back me up here. Margin Walker came out before this, correct?
I think that's true. Yeah, I think that was an EP, and I think it was 7 songs or something. Wait, what's the first one called? 6 songs or 7 songs or something?
Well, I know there's
And then when they
13
put-
songs,
when
and
they
that's
put
the
on
combination.
It was 13 songs.
Okay. All
I
right.
think
So.
they combined 2 things. I think that's right.
Okay, all right. So yes, so as far as full length, like this is our full album. This is the first full length release by Fugazi. The LP on vinyl came out on April 19th, 1990, and then in May 1990 they released the CD, which included the 3-song EP. So the CD, I believe it's also on cassette, and then definitely on streaming is Repeater plus 3 songs. So this was recorded at the famous Inner Ear Studios in Arlington, Virginia, and produced by Don Zenatara and Ted Nicely. Sean, also correct me if I'm wrong here. You have actually done some recording at Inner Ear,
I did, yeah.
and did you work with either of them? I vaguely remember you telling me a story behind it.
Yeah, Don Zentara was there. He booked it and he recorded it, and he was a fucking prince, man. He was amazing. Yeah,
Nice.
Great guy.
Nice.
And it was like unheard of cheap, like a couple $100.
Really? That's it?
I swear. Yeah.
That's fucking amazing. And that was with that was when you were playing with Warren from Valkyrie, and who else was in that band?
Ian. Yeah, that
Ian.
was a band called Heavy Burner.
Heavy Burner. Yes. And I had the opportunity and pleasure to open up for Heavy Burner down in Charlotte. That was Heavy Burner, right? When I came down and played with you guys, yeah, in Charlottesville, Virginia, at the Ante Room, which is no longer around. Let's give it up for the Ante Room. The Ante Room. Yeah.
Cheers.
I have a TV between me, so it's harder to cheers.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it's good.
And that was a good time, man. That's where I pulled out the Thompson twins and like won the crowd over. It was pretty fucking amazing. So in regards as to, I can't read my fucking writing here.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I really can't read my writing. But at any rate, this album is definitely it's an admire album by other bands, and basically a very important album in rock music in general. It is included in the book 1,000 Recordings to Hear Before You Die, which came out I think in 2005 by Tom Moon. Released on Discord Records and was not considered a commercial success But apparently, because of the success it was having, and it had to do with the backing of the band touring very much like throughout like the world in 1990 and 1991, it had a lot of major label eyes on it, and apparently they went to Fugazi and said, hey, let us pick up this album, and they were like, thanks but no thanks. So because of all that and the DIY feeling and the DIY experience of this album, there's no real data on it because it didn't hit any of like the major data things. But in a 2008 interview, it was revealed at that time in 2008 that Repeater had sold over 500,000 copies. So in 2008, it was definitely certified gold. If you went by the RIAA standings, it was certified gold by major label standings, which is pretty amazing for a fucking DIY album, for an album that like, came out by a bunch of fucking dudes in Virginia who were like, we're going to put out this punk rock album.
Yeah, it's very punk rock of them to say no thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, man. And that is I think, just like as it comes up every year, the whole fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame shit. I think they should fucking nominate Discord Records in general for that. And I fully expect Discord Records to be like, no, fuck you. We don't need it. We don't need this.
Would you say that Ian Mackay invented the just say no?
Instead of Nancy Reagan, maybe, yeah.
I'm just saying, maybe she got it from him.
Yeah, exactly. So, this album is very highly influential, like for me personally, as well as for basically any budding musicians. It's political, it's in your face, it's no hold bards, and it stands the test of time. In my opinion, it's probably the best album to come out of the 1990s. So those are my basic feelings about this album here.
Didn't Spice Girls' self-titled album come out in the 1990s?
Yes, but Spice Girls' self-titled album was actually inspired by Fugazi Repeater,
okay.
as a matter of fact. You can actually
I get when you listen to Wannabe, I hear Repeater.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You hear Repeater with the drum beats, and you know what I mean. You got that going on there. So I first listened to Fugazi because it had the singer of Minor Threat in it. And I love me some Minor Threat, true story. Like Sean and I used to fucking steal our brother Brian, we used to steal his records. Yep. Sean, get that up there.
Drunk tonight.
Yep. We used to steal his little tapes and fucking listen to Minor Threat all the time. And that is who introduced me to Minor Threat as well as Fugazi. Now, a funny story about Brian and Sean, you will remember this. So Fugazi played at Drexel University, obviously in Philadelphia, and what you could do is you could watch it on, at the time Comcast had channel 54, which was DUTV with Drexel University Television. You could watch the concert, and it was Random Children, who was a local Philly band, Youth Tsunami, and then Fugazi. And the funniest fucking thing about this is you can watch Brian stage diving and like crowd surfing over it, like because he had a huge fucking mohawk and a fucking wife beater in his boots, and you could see people like pass him on and like falling down like that. So that was pretty cool. And I mean, that's basically the little factoids. Are you wiping up, Sean?
Sean, he had something on it. I think when one of us cheers them, we got a little bit.
It was probably me. Yeah,
got a little drop on it.
You're trying to make Sean look pretty. It doesn't happen. Can't really happen there. So.
I wore a Minor Threat shirt today.
Yeah.
Did you see?
Oh, you did. Look at that.
Wore a Trenton Punk Rock
shirt,
out a little
out of step.
To Out of Step,
there you
which
go.
Is for the same reason.
So that WKDU Band Bash thing, you could actually find that on YouTube still.
Oh, can you?
It's pretty weird, like the way it was filmed or whatever in the room. It's pretty weird footage, but it was definitely the first time I ever saw any image of Fugazi or any of them other than like Minor Threat,
right?
What I'd seen in Minor Threat videos.
Yep.
So I remember just playing that thing over and over. Somebody had like recorded it and gave it to me. And probably the first time I heard anything from Repeater as well.
Yeah. So back in the day when we played Drexel University, we did not play in that same room, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think we played in that room, but we've seen shows in that room, like because it was like basically in like the Crease Student Center where they do that. And one of the things where I think is like definitely because I didn't know who the fuck they were then. I don't think you did either. I think one of our lost opportunities as kids, which if you guys don't know, Sean and I have known each other since we were 3 years old. So what's that, like 44 years at this point? Do you really want to mention your age to your 27-year-old girlfriend? But she might realize like how old you really are. That's all hair dye and Rogaine up there, buddy. That's but
Rogaine. Sure.
But
it's in the cup.
Yes, there you go. but one of the missed opportunities I feel is like one of those, and I didn't know, so it's not like I knew and I didn't go. But one of the missed opportunities I feel from our youth is when Fugazi played the fucking Frankfurt YMCA. And I wasn't there. Yeah, they exactly.
Really?
You see that? Yes, they played the fucking Frankfurt Y in Frankfurt, Philadelphia. There's like this cool like picture, and I know Sean just sent me an Instagram thing of like a Halloween costume. There's this really fucking cool image of Guy climbing up and putting himself through the fucking the hoop of the basketball court. And like somebody had, what was the thing you sent me the other day? It was basically just a Halloween costume of like like Fugazi, like that was
awesome.
his thing.
Yeah, like the guy in the hoop, right?
Yeah.
And like legend has it that he actually fell out of the hoop and fucked himself up pretty bad, but I've never seen the footage.
Yeah, but that was that was kind of cool, and it was but and that is a place where we actually did play on that same like area there. It's not a stage; it's literally in a basketball court. And Sean and I in our past band Disunion, we actually did play on that area like a couple times. So it is pretty cool. So. I love this album. This is definitely, obviously it's on my top 25, but I mean, even more so, this is definitely one of those, like, this is a top 5 album for me. This is up there with, the Violent Femmes. This is up there with the Queen is Dead for me. This is one of the albums that when we talked about doing the podcast, that this was an easy pick. I'm doing this fucking album. Like no ifs, ands, and buts about it. So that is my general thoughts on the album. Adam, how do you feel about Fugazi Repeater?
I think I mentioned at the end of last week's episode, my only exposure to Fugazi was in the late 90s. Paul gave me a cassette of Red Medicine, and I remember 8-9-year-old me thinking it was good because my cool older brother gave it to me.
Yes, I am a cool older brother.
Listening to Repeater, I'm all about it. Listening to it, I couldn't help but think that like the majority of this album would fit right in place with like on the soundtrack of Clerks or Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. There were some songs that listening to them, I can imagine like skating through the mall level in the first Tony Hawk's game while listening to it.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed the hell out of it. It was it's just a good fucking listen. I think I listened to it at first when driving home from recording last week, and I was having that. It's dark. I've had a few drinks, so I had a hard time like paying attention to it because I was focusing on what I was on driving. But going back and listening to it, sober and after the fact, I'm all about this album in a big bad way.
Yep. Good album. Sean, how do you feel about Fugazi Repeater?
It's one of my favorite albums. It might be I don't know. It's tough, but it's definitely one of my favorite albums of all time. Easily. It
is difficult to say like this is my absolute favorite album because I think like sometimes your favorite album goes in phases as well.
Changes weekly for me.
But I mean, I definitely, go on. I mean, like I said, it's definitely my top 5. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I hadn't heard it in a while, to be honest with you. And then I put it on today, and I mean, it doesn't sound dated to me. It doesn't sound old. I mean, to me, it just sounds exactly the same as when I first heard it. I think that says a lot. But you don't have to hear it from us. They obviously toured the fucking world and kind of did the unthinkable for a punk rock band. So
yeah.
I guess the proof is there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. Tom, what are your feelings on this album?
I love this album. I got excited last episode I was on when you guys actually pulled this record because I got excited seeing it because I love this album. I've known it since I remember when the album came out. I was in, I think, 10th grade. I was fortunate enough that I grew up about 6 blocks from like a legendary Trenton venue for shows. and Fugazi played at this place many times.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see them several times. I got to see them like with Ween. I got to see them with a bunch of other like local acts where they played at City Gardens when I was a kid.
Real quick, as you mentioned that, Sean, you saw them with Rancid, if I'm correct. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true, and I almost don't even believe it to say it out loud. But
I know.
They definitely played the Trocadero with Rancid, which was really, even then it seemed unlikely.
Yep.
And it happened. The only time I saw Rancid, that's for sure.
Yep. Go on, Tom. Sorry.
No, I saw Fugazi several times at City Gardens because we used to go to every show. There was always somebody there every Friday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever. There were tons of shows there. So,
and
it was
John Stewart.
He was a bartender there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw a lot of huge bands at this tiny little shitty venue in Trenton. And I was just lucky enough that I got to see the end of it. So I saw Fugazi here several times. I love this album. I think I saw them on tour supporting this album. It might have been the next one, the one before Red Medicine.
And on the Kill Taker? That's after this, right? You know this better.
No. I don't think that was the next one. Anyway, they had another album like shortly after this one, like a month or a year and a half after this one.
Okay.
Between this and Red Medicine. Red Medicine was like 95, 94, whatever.
It might be a Kill Taker. It might be.
It could be. Either way, I saw them a couple times. Love this album. I was super excited when you guys pulled it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Steady Diet of Nothing.
That's the one I was thinking
there
of.
you go. There you
It
go.
goes Repeater, Steady Diet of Nothing, In on the Kill Taker, and then Red Medicine.
Red Medicine and Hits Argument, right?
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
Steady Diet of Nothing. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, that of those albums, this is definitely my favorite Fugazi album. Honestly,
Yes.
if I had to list my top 3 Fugazi albums, it's Repeater, Red Medicine, and then probably Argument. Even though like that's their last one, and the other albums are good, but those are probably like the 3 that I would go to. So, I like them.
This is my favorite one.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely my favorite one. I remember when I worked at the Gap, I was the stockroom supervisor, right? And like, so when I first got, before I had my crew, I was back there by myself doing stuff. I'm like, man, I need some music here. So like, I brought in a boombox and I went over to it was before FYI, maybe it's The Wall,
Yeah.
where you get the little sticker on it. Yeah, and I bought the cassette of this and just fucking listened to it over, and it's not a very long album, so like I fucking listened to it probably like 10 times during an 8-hour shift.
I say with the extra 3 songs that were on the version I listened to on iTunes, I think it was like 43 minutes long.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's that's not even it. So I have had the opportunity. Now I know that I have seen Fugazi at least 3 times, but I feel like there's a 4th time in there that I'm forgetting. But I know I've at least seen them 3 times. 1 time in Richmond, Virginia, and the other 2 times were at the Electric Factory. If there was a 4th time, it also would have been at the Electric Factory.
The artist formerly known
The
as the Electric Factory.
artist formerly known as the Electric Factory. Sean, interesting story here, has a cameo in the feature film Instrument about Fugazi.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
Just kind of bugging out
what's
in the
that?
front row watching them play.
Yep.
I'm just kind of losing my mind in the front row watching them play. Just my eyes are popping out of my head. It's incredible.
Yeah, but so if you watch the film Instrument, which is all about Fugazi's music and like throughout the years and their tours and stuff like that, you have you see they're doing it at the Trocadero in Philadelphia, and they have the thing on the sign, and you kind of see off to the side of the stage, you got like Sean with our boy Tony Crosdale, formerly of the Stalag 13, standing right up there at the fucking front of the stage. So that's pretty cool too. So, but yeah. So when we saw them in Richmond, Virginia, which is the first time I ever saw them, we actually drove down to VCU. It was me, Sean, someone who shall not be named. What's up? You got something?
I got something for you.
Oh, he's got something. Oh, he's got something here. What's he got here? What's
I don't know if this is gonna work.
Ah, there it is. There it is, right there.
Oh shit! I know that.
Yes,
picture.
I have the copy
Yeah.
of it upstairs as well. So that is a 19-year-old Paul and 19-year-old Sean, and I don't know what he was, probably like 60 years old at that point. Ian Mackay, because he's old as fuck. But yes, we got to meet the band, and we got to meet Ian Mackay, and so Here's my backstory about this. As I've mentioned before on the podcast, Sean and I played in a band called Disunion back in the day. Like that was like our 95 to like the early 2000s thing, right?
Yeah, coming out of high school.
Yeah, coming out of high school. So like we recorded this demo, this like 4-song demo, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna send it down to Discord Records for consideration. So I did. I put a little press kit together, got the fucking tape, I got everything, sent it to fucking Discord Records. Like figured, what the fuck? Worst case, I don't hear anything. Best case, we're gonna be on Discord Records. So what was cool was obviously we did not get on Discord Records. But I did get a postcard back, basically saying, hey, thanks for doing this. We only do Virginia area bands, for what you're doing. Here's what you can, look up these things, book your own fucking life and Maximum Rock and Roll magazine. Instead of getting that stuff, you can do tours, all this kind of shit. And it said, by the way, Red Lines is a cool song. Signed, Ian. So it's like, fuck, okay, all right. Even if it was someone else, it was kind of cool that they fucking, they sent this postcard back. Like
they took the time to actually reply to it.
Exactly. Somebody did. That's what we kind of figured.
So then just hitting the garbage can, which is what you assume is going to happen.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So fast forward to when we go down to Richmond, Virginia. This is a few months later. They actually, Fugazi was on a tour. I don't know where they were touring, but like Richmond was the closest they were coming. It was like a Sunday. It was on the campus of VCU. It was free. So we went down there and fucking we walk right up to him and I'm like talking to Ian Mackay. I'm like, by the way, my name's Paul. I'm this band Disunion. I sent you guys a press kit. I really appreciate you writing me back. He's like, oh yeah, man, Red Lines is a good fucking song. And like that, like right there, I'm just like, oh my God, like you really, like not only did you really listen to it, like this is like months removed now, and you fucking remembered like the song that like what like that you mentioned in the fucking postcard. So I thought that was cool.
Well, he wasn't drinking and doing drugs, so he probably had a good memory.
Well, I would think so. I don't know who drinks these days. So, but I mean it's it's an amazing album, man. Sean, like what is this like? How is this album like? I guess influenced you and the music you write even now with the Unholy Four, or your other projects that you're working on?
Well, as you know, I had a $75 broken guitar when I was fucking 12 years old, trying to figure out how to play, and I was really into like Iron Maiden.
Yes.
Obviously before YouTube and all that shit. So when you're sitting in front of a boombox listening to Iron Maiden, trying to figure out on guitar, it's pretty hopeless, man. It's pretty much like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it's not going to happen. So then when you hear things like Fugazi, I mean, obviously they have an insane, incredible drummer, but the guitars are so fucked up in a great way. It kind of sounds doable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it was just like that. Any kind of music like that is really inspiring for somebody to be like, oh, you don't have to be able to play Iron Maiden. You can just fucking make all this noise or whatever. You know what I mean? Kind of gives you a leg to stand on when you're learning how to write songs and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'd say extremely helpful and influential.
Yep. I would go so far to say in our Disunion stuff, we definitely had some Fugazi feel to what we were doing, especially because neither one of us are the greatest of singers, so we kind of did a little bit at it, like almost chanting. I remember the one show we played down at the Boot and Saddle. Someone like pulled me aside. It was like, I really like however the style of singing was that she described to us, and we were just like, huh, what? Okay, that's all right. But it was like kind of like chanting, but it wasn't chanting. I'm not really sure.
You guys sound like those Gregorian monks, but have a guitar.
Well, it's possible. It's possible. So actually, speaking of the Boot and Saddle, because I know I've told this story, and sometimes I think when I tell stories, people think I'm fucking completely full of shit, which sometimes I am. But Sean, you were there. Can you please tell Adam and Tom here about the time we played the Boot and Saddle and we hung out with Rodney Anonymous from the Dead Milkmen?
Yeah. I think.
I honestly thought this could be like, Sean, can you tell them about the time that I almost hooked up with Katie Holmes?
No, he wasn't there for that.
He almost banged Rodney Anonymous, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember it that great because, as you know, I used to get a little out of my head. But I remember he was there. I remember there weren't a whole lot of other people there, and I remember we kind of freaked out because he was there, right?
Yeah.
and you probably approached him, and he ended up being cool as fuck.
He was, yeah, yeah.
I think he might have said nice things about our band, maybe at some point.
He did.
Maybe he had noticed us playing. I don't know.
Yeah, he was like standing in the back watching us play, and then we like sat at the bar with him, and he offered to buy us drinks.
Yeah.
But that was like the boot and saddle was like tightening the reins, and so like the bartender, who happened to be his wife, asked us for ID, and we didn't have it because we were like 19 years old. But yeah, then we sat there and like just fucking talked shit with Rodney, and while he drank his Guinness Stout out of the bottle, and we, you know what I mean, and we were drinking like soft drinks or whatever, like soda and shit like that. So
You guys are drinking Shirley Temples.
pretty much.
I got to say, I'm not usually like starstruck, and I mean, I haven't met a whole lot of famous people anyway, but the Dead Milkman, I mean, like that does it for me, man. Like I remember being really blown away being that close to him. Like we were such huge fans of them, and went to all those matinee shows on at the Chocodero. Yeah, that would be it for me, man. I think I actually got a little nervous.
Yeah,
maybe more so than anyone else.
Yeah, no, that was definitely one of those cool experiences, especially to see someone who, you know, who you watched play like for years, and then they get to watch you play, and it's like, holy fuck, that's pretty cool. That is pretty awesome. So, you know, Adam, what else you got about this album?
No, it's Fugazi is one of those bands where I've always heard you talk about them as long as I can remember. I like I said, my only exposure to them is that cassette you gave me in like the late 90s, and kind of like how you said with Interpol, like you know, I wish that I would have been paying more attention. I think
we weren't alive yet, though.
No, true. When I just looked it up, the Argument came out in 2001. So, I mean, I don't think I really started listening to music the way I listen to music now until probably a little bit after that. But, like, listening to this album, I want to go back and listen to Red Medicine, and I want to go back and listen to the rest of this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one of those things where, like, I was worried that, like, this album was kind of going to have, like, Sean mentioned it, that doesn't sound dated. I was worried that it was going to be.
Yeah. No, because I know some of the stuff I have pulled out has been a little dated. Yes.
And I wouldn't say dated. I think it very much sounds of the time that it came out, but that's not an insult to it.
Right.
When I said that, when In Excess and the Cooters sounded dated, that was meant as an insult. When I say this sounds of the time, I mean that in a good way. Like, it sounds of the time, but it still resonates now.
Yes. So one of the best things that I think about this album is that you take, like, this album is the embodiment of and obviously I don't know how, like, you know, in what way they recorded it other than they were in the studio, but like this album is almost like a live album. You know, because when you look at just look at the first 4 songs on that album, and when you play it, it's like it's Turnover, Repeat, Brendan number 1, and then Merchandise. Like those 4 songs back to back to back to back to back, and you don't realize that they've stopped. Which is also kind of indicative of how they play live. Whereas like they would get up with and I thought this was absolutely amazing. So like Birmingham 6, we don't use a set list anymore. Depending on the show, if we're doing like a 45-minute like festival, we'll use a set list for that, because it's just like, all right, here we go, here's our greatest hits set list, this is how we're gonna do it. But if we're playing like a 2, 3, 4 hour show, we don't use a set list. Like, it's like no fucking point. I'm not gonna sit there and try to map out our whole night, right?
No.
But what we'll do is, like, I'm going around during breaks and telling the guys, like, hey, we're going to play this next, or we're going to play this next, or I'm starting a song that, like, I start the song so they'll know what we're playing, you know, 10 seconds into the song. Apparently, Fugazi, what they would do in their live shows is they didn't use a set list, but they didn't go around telling each other what they were playing. They had cues, right? Isn't that what, like, the thing? They had, like, little cues?
True. Yeah.
So
I think, like, weird hand signals and like weird like little guitar cues and stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
And they'd be like, all right, this is what we're gonna do, and they would just like fucking go into it. It's just like, motherfucker, like that is amazing, and like that is just like the sense of how tight they were and how good of a band they were live. And that is one of the things that grabs me about this album, is that like this album feels like it's fucking live. Like you're sitting there, you put on the record and you're sitting there listening to Fugazi in your fucking room, like they're right there, because it's just how those first like 4 songs are just boom to boom to boom to boom, and it's amazing. Like, you know, after that it's a little broken up, but I mean definitely the like probably one of the strongest starts to an album that like of all time, especially from like the 1990s.
To touch on what you just said, I remember when you pulled The Queen Is Dead, I said the night we pulled it, I drove home and I listened to it and I hated it because everything sounded the same. Very much so. The first 4 songs of this album, I'm listening to them and it's very like
very similar.
When you're not fully paying attention and you're driving down the road, making sure you don't crash into anybody, it's very hard to pick out where one stops and one ends. But I don't feel like that's a bad thing with this album.
Yes.
And
that's the beauty. That's the beauty of those 4 songs.
And when you said like that's how they kind of play live, like that's kind of how I expect punk music to be done. Like it's fast and it's aggressive and it's in your face and it's unrelenting. So I kind of get that vibe from that's the feeling I get from the first 4 songs of this album.
Well, it's funny, and you talk about that like punk music. That is how like the Ramones were kind of the opposite of that. Is that every song they stopped, there was a breath, and they go 1, 2, 3, 4. But I mean, there was like, you know, there was always a little bit of a break. When you saw the Ramones, was it the same thing?
Yeah, I only saw them one time.
Yeah, so did I. And it was just like they would do a song and they would end a song and they would take a breath and be like, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they would go right in. But there was always that break. Whereas like Fugazi, like literally, it's almost like a jam session.
Yeah,
it really is almost like a jam session. And I fucking hate jam bands. But they're not a jam band because they're actually doing like their songs and whatnot. I don't think they really got into too many like fucking like crazy jam shit like fucking Mars Volta or anything like that. Yeah. But they definitely, you know, like it is very much back to back to back to back and in your face, and this is how we're doing it, and you know whatnot. So, and of course, you know, it would be it'd be a failure to not mention about how much against moshing and stage diving the band was.
Really?
Yes. Oh yeah.
They
even
were
though
against everything that you would think punk bands would be into.
Yeah.
I mean, Ian MacKaye literally is credited with creating like the straight edge movement.
Yep.
That's him. Yeah, that's why I keep fucking referencing. Well, he's not doing drugs or drinking because he wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the opposite of what you would expect for like the punk guy.
Yeah.
The whole band they were absolutely opposite of what you would think would be, or what most people would associate with punk music.
Yep. Dude, they would stop shows. They generally, I know both times I saw them at the Electric Factory, the house lights were up the whole time.
Really?
Oh yeah, like the house lights were up, and you know there were still lights on the stage, like the colored lights and shit like that. The house lights were up the whole time. And these were sold out gigs, and one of the cool things about their sold out gigs is like, you know, I remember the last time I saw them, it cost $6 to see them.
Yeah.
But I mean, fucking inflation. So, but like for years they charged $5 for a fucking ticket.
$6 isn't even the surcharge for buying tickets on Ticketmaster anymore.
Exactly.
So
yeah, and so like on their last tour, they had to raise prices to $6 just to, you know what I mean. Gas prices got higher is basically, you know, what they said, and you know, but like they would those shows were always fucking sold out. They would do 2-3 nights in Philly, and it was just like every one of them was sold out.
Yeah.
And they would fucking stop the show if someone was being a fucking idiot on stage. They would stop the show. They would point them out and be like, "That motherfucker right there needs to fucking leave right now."
No.
So, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't remember what they were charging for shows in Trenton, but it couldn't have been much because
It was $5.
I was in fucking 10th grade and we went to the show whenever they played.
Yeah. So
I think part of the thing about their live shows too is, you know, in 1988 we were 12 years old.
Yep.
So if we were listening to the Dead Kennedys and the Misfits and all that old punk shit, all those bands broke up already. There was no chance we were going to see them.
Nope.
And Fugazi was kind of like the only of that real kind of old punk ilk or whatever you want to call it that was, you could go see them now, you know. And I think that was, and also they lived up to it. They were really great live.
Yeah.
Maybe even better than, you know, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it, you know, there is something to that. Like their live stuff was so much. Like their recorded stuff was great. Like I don't know that their live stuff of Repeater was necessarily better than the recordings, but like definitely like when you get into like End Hits and Argument and like even in on the Kill Taker and whatnot, which is actually probably my least favorite Fugazi album, even though a lot of people will say in on the Kill Taker is their best album. It's probably my least favorite. But like their live, everything they did live off of those other albums definitely surpassed the recordings. It definitely took it to a different level, and it sounded like way better, except for the stuff on Repeater. And I don't know if maybe that's just me loving Repeater that much. I don't know. It could be, but I definitely it's awesome. So pretty much that's what I got there. That's what I got. So
they could have just been like the last of the like stalwart kind of punk bands, because like I remember seeing them in like '92. And we're talking within 12 months of Nirvana putting a bullet in the head of hair metal.
Yeah.
Like that was, they were, like the and I'm not saying the punk music died, because it never did. It's still the same, but they were like, shit was changing.
Yeah.
And they were still doing the same sort of thing. But a lot, like Sean mentioned, a lot of those bands that preceded them, they were gone. Like these guys were already doing solo shit, and Henry Rollins was on a spoken word tour. Like things were different.
and it does make you think too, like what if Fugazi sold out, so to speak, right? What would that have looked like? Would Fugazi be what Nirvana's legend is? You know what I mean? I honestly think Fugazi's legend is in not selling out. And which makes them so great to have such success and such like across the board influential music, influential albums, to be able to do that and basically say, I'm going to charge $5 for a show and I'm going to charge $8 for my record, and that's what it is. And we're even going to put our fucking price on our fucking record, so you could technically argue that with the store and be like, nope, that's the price.
No.
Would their legend have been lost had they sold out?
No.
You know what I mean? I know there's a story about, Lollapalooza, which I did go to a couple of Lollapaloozas, where Perry Farrell contacted Ian MacKaye and said, we want Fugazi on Lollapalooza this year. And he's like, cool, you're going to charge $5? And Perry Farrell just hung up the phone.
He's like, I can't get a swimming pool full of hookers and $100 bills charging $5.
Yes.
One of my favorite things I've ever seen about, in reference to a band selling out, what is the name of the guitar player who's not Joe Strummer from The Clash?
The other guitar player?
Mick Jones.
Mick Jones,
yeah. So there's an interview where they're talking to The Clash, and they ask Mick Jones, what is it like? He's like, what do you say to people like who like, it says something along the lines of like, what do you say to people who say you've sold out? What does selling out mean to you? And he goes like, selling out is, he's like, we decide we're gonna play a show. We announce the date of that show. We announce where that show's gonna be. We put out all the tickets for that show, and then everybody buys all of those tickets that we have available. We've sold out. Like that's. I always thought that was a beautiful way of thinking about it.
Yeah. And there's a thing too. Like I think it was Maverick Records, which at the time was Madonna had started a record label. Approached Rancid and was like, "Here you go. I want to put your stuff out." And like the dude from Rancid was just like, because they were talking about Rancid selling out. He's like, have you ever held $1 million check in your hand and ripped it up? He's like, because I have. Because I didn't, you know what I mean?
See Tim Armstrong doing some shit
so
like
he's
that.
like, so don't tell me I fucking sold out. You know what I mean? So.
Well, I don't know if you mentioned it already, but, they were Fugazi was making their own records, so.
Yep.
There really wasn't any need except for probably copious amounts of money or whatever to sell out, right? Because they were already doing it and booking the tours, and they didn't really need assistance to get it done.
Yeah, which is the amazing thing, and it's just like it's definitely. I mean, they're definitely the one-off. I think that's the thing. Like when you talk about like just social media and the internet and streaming and stuff like that, and it's like as much as people hate streaming, there are bands now who are more Fugazi-like in the sense that they don't have record labels, but they're getting out there. Like look at fucking like the Vampire Weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Their stuff was all self-released at first. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It was all out there because they were doing it and they were pushing it. And that is one of, you know, like, you know, you go down that, like, you know, that dark hallway of like fucking the internet and social media and all that kind of shit. And that is definitely one of, you know, there are many downfalls to it, but that is one of the beauties of it is that these unknown, unheard of bands who would not be listened to otherwise are available. And you can discover them, and you can definitely, you know, learn about music and
like, shit, you get someone to dance to your fucking song on TikTok, and you've blown up.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
You know, and that could be the one fucking thing that you have is that one song that someone danced to on TikTok, and you can still.
It's like if you write this song and a friend of yours says, "I'm going to use that as my theme song to my podcast."
No.
You can fucking become a millionaire.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So...
Is the check? Does that mean the check is in the mail?
No. There's no check in the mail.
We can only see behind Sean, but in front of him is just gold-plated pools and just
caviar and
peacocks
hookers.
running wild and
Opulence.
yeah.
All the gold to that side of the room.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, what's that guitar behind you there? No. That one.
Oh, it's just an Epiphone.
Oh, just
cheap.
an Epiphone. Oh, all right. Yeah. So
Which Epiphone though? Are we talking like?
It's one of those Epiphone dots from about 20 years ago.
Oh, like
when
the hollow
when
body?
they still. Yeah, it's like semi-hollow body.
Yeah.
Like a BB King
Nice
guitar. When they still put Gibson on the truss rod before they stopped doing that.
God damn it, Paul.
nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
So you own many guitars, is that correct, Sean?
A dozen.
Did you look at Emily and you're like, how is she in your earshot?
I'm looking at them on the wall. I've got them named.
I was telling Paul not that long ago that I was like I had gotten a random like friend request, follow request, whatever the hell they're called on Instagram. And I was like, who the fuck is the country punk? And I realized it was you. And I started following you back. And then, like, you were posting some pictures of, like, some beautiful fucking guitars. And Paul was telling me, he's like, yeah, Sean's got so many guitars that he just leaves them at people's houses and forgets about them.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yep.
That's not exactly true.
It's not untrue, though.
I moved. So I didn't really have a place for all these guitars. Two of them, I only really have two, like, nice guitars. And I just leave them where we practice because there's no point in me dragging them back and forth.
Yeah.
Because they just get fucked up in between, right? And then I play, like, you know, nice Epiphones if I can find them because they're cheap. And then the ones that you're talking about in the picture, they're just old 60s weird guitars. Like,
yeah.
You can make them play nice, but they don't really come that way. You know, you kind of have to do some work to them.
Yeah.
And they can still be had really cheap. That's why I have so many.
It's like those, like the department store guitars that like were, like what was it? Silvertones were Sears. Silvertones were Sears, and what was the other one that was? K's were something. I
have one that's called Alden. I think that was a department store,
and
then one called Montgomery Ward, which I think was called Airline. Those guitars were called Airline.
Oh yeah, and Airlines Airlines kind of made a little bit of a resurgence because like a lot of like weird fucking like hipster bands that I was listening to were playing like at least one dude in the band played a fucking Airline.
Yeah.
Because they look wacky as shit. They have like some of them have like 4 pickups to them.
Nice.
Like they're just wacky and cool looking guitars, but like they look like plastic.
Yeah.
They might be plastic.
And they might be plastic, yeah.
So
Harmony is the main American made all that shit. They just rebranded them as they needed.
That was my first guitar. You remember that Harmony like Strat lookalike thing, the fucking black thing?
I remember that you for some reason kept it under your bed.
Yeah, I don't.
We were like fucking around and you like fell under the bed and smashed the fucking guitar.
The fucking bed collapsed. And then fucking my guitar was under a fucking huge hole in the picker. I'm like, oh no! But it still fucking worked. It was fucking, it was cool. It was a cool guitar, man. But yeah.
I got to refill my cup. I'll be right back.
All right.
All I heard is you guys were fucking around. You fell on the bed.
No. We were like, we were kids. We were into wrestling and shit. I was probably doing some like fucking like Hulk Hogan moves on him or something. We're wrestling, Mom. Don't worry about it. It's not what it looks like.
It's just a couple of young boys greased up in a bedroom with the lights off.
Yeah.
Some De La Soul playing.
What's wrong with De La Soul, dude? I fucking love De La Soul.
Yeah, just De La Soul seems like music you can get down to, man.
It is music.
That's what I mean.
What are you inferring there?
I'm implying that you and Chum are greased up, falling on your bed and into a lover's embrace
while listening to De La Soul. It's possible. I mean, I wouldn't say a lover's embrace, but I will say there was this one time. So like, I had these like I don't know why someone thought it was a good idea to get us boxing gloves as kids.
Yes.
That's a terrible idea.
The dumbest shit you can do.
I know.
And people do it all the time.
Yeah. So we had two sets. There was like bigger gloves and then there were like the smaller gloves, right? So somehow we lost a glove. Right, so I turned to Sean one day. I'm like, "Yo, dude, let's box." He's like, "We only have 3 gloves." I'm like, "It's cool. You use the 2 gloves, and I'll use the 1 glove, but I'll keep my other hand." It was the left, so I only have my left. I'm like, "I'll keep my right hand behind my back."
Yeah, it's perfect.
You know what I mean? So like,
I won't punch you in your mouth.
No,
with
no,
left hands.
No, but that's
I'll
the thing.
fight you with 1 glove on.
I won't
you can't
use
defend
my right
the
hand.
right side of your face.
Right. Well, that's what we're doing. So we're sitting there, we're boxing, and and like Sean's hit me, and I'm fucking punching him back and shit like that. And then it was just fucking instinct because I did learn a little bit of like how to box. And like Sean, I'm telling the story about when we were boxing with the 3 gloves. You remember that?
I can hear you.
Yeah. All right. So we're sitting there, we're going, and I give him like it was like it's called the 1, 2, 3, right? So I give him the 1, 2, and just instinct, my right hand comes around and bang, and I just fucking straight sock him, fucking jaw him with the right hand, and he goes right down, and I'm like, oh my god, I didn't mean to. Like I felt so fucking bad, but it was a good move though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good move.
Just to clarify, fucking around could have been, trying some wrestling moves or throwing shit out the window, screaming into a boombox, or fucking.
Yes, we did.
Could have been in.
We did a lot of crazy shit. Like so one year. So did you ever get the opportunity to meet Sister Rita?
No.
So technically she was a cousin who was a nun, but she only had 1 leg. So
Wait, this sounds vague.
Yeah,
one-legged lady.
Nun, yeah,
one-legged lady sounds very familiar.
She was the one-legged nun. It's the true thing, Ryan. We had a one-legged nun in our family. And like so, but what was kind of crazy is she had this like crazy plastic leg that she could put on. So it would look like, but it was like a full-size fucking leg. But like for the most part, she would just be like, whatever, one-legged nun, like no whatever. So she got me these stickers for Christmas that said "Property of Paul." And so like I put them on all of our shit and whatnot, right? And so for whatever reason in the summer, because we're like 12, 13 years old.
I thought you'd be like, I put one on her leg.
Right? But we're like 12, 13 years old, and we have nothing else to do in fucking Northeast Philadelphia. So I don't know. We thought it'd be cool to see what happens when we throw stuff out of my bedroom window.
Yeah.
And see how it like busts up.
Yeah.
And so we're throwing all this shit out there. What's that?
Right into the neighbor's yard.
Right into the neighbor's. And so my mom comes home and she's like, "Why were you fucking throwing shit out the window? Why is all your stuff in the neighbor's yard?" And I'm just like, "That's not mine, Mom. That's not mine. I don't know what you're talking about." And she's like, "It fucking says Property of Paul." And I'm like, "Somebody else could add those stickers. You can't prove they were mine."
I'm not the only Paul in the world, Mom.
Which is pretty accurate. So.
Your mom was a fucking saint.
Yeah, she was. Regina, let's give her
cheers.
Not for my daughter Regina, for as Adam calls her mama Regina. So, Adam, you got anything else on this album?
No, I think you should fucking listen to it.
Yes, absolutely. Sean, what are your final feelings on Fugazi Repeater?
Feelings? That's good. Got it right here, so I can get my feelings together. I don't know, man. Merchandise.
Oh, no, we're not there. You're jumping segments, man. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Well, you're. I feel like you're kind of jumping segments because usually you don't say like final thoughts until after we've done top 3 and bottom 1.
I'm not doing top three. I'm just saying that like.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
okay.
Sorry. All right.
Merchandise and Styrofoam are like fucking anthems. I mean, the band can write a fucking anthem. There's no doubt about it.
Yes.
And then like Shut the Door is just super fucking weird and dark, and I don't know. It's good.
So,
I like an album that sounds like a good mixtape, unless you're AC/DC, and then you should just do the same thing.
Right. So that's what I'll say about Shut the Door, and heading back to our last week's episode about Interpol. Shut the Door is besides the Interpol album is the perfect example of using dissonance in a way that it's fucking beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So that's my thought. And Tom, any final thoughts on Repeater?
No, I love the album. I said everything I need to say about it.
Cool. Do you want to do your spiel about a beautiful 11-month-old baby who does and does not want to sleep periodically right now?
So we're all again just peons in the musical opinion world.
Oh shit.
She might not sleep, but she still has good opinions. What is that sweet baby angel upstairs? What does Ryan's new best friend think of this album?
Well, I will tell you that I might finally believe she really is my daughter, because Regina likes Repeater. She is a fan. Definitely was into. She didn't like. I will tell you, I did not get as many opportunities to play this for her as I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons because we had to listen to 3 fucking Christmas albums this week too. But
A lot of homework this week.
Yeah, a lot of homework this week. But she did hear it a few times. She was definitely into it. Shut the Door she was singing on. So that was fun. But no, definitely goes down as a like. So that brings us even again. To 9 likes, 3 dislikes, and 6 in different songs or in different records. So and we are at a good point. I think this is episode 34 or something like that. So yeah, so we're pretty much at like a halfway point here, as far as like being even with albums and whatnot. So Tom, I'm going to start with you. What are your top 3 songs?
So I left my notebook at home. So I don't have my notes, but off the top of my head, I would say Shut the Door, Repeater, Merchandise.
Nice.
Those are, 3. But again, there's a couple others that I really loved. There's maybe 5. You could pick any 3. They're my 3 favorite.
Yep. Nice. Adam?
I'm gonna go Repeater, Styrofoam,
Okay.
Reprovisional.
You were a B-side fan, more the B-sides.
Nah.
Okay, all right, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Is that
Sean?
a +3 song?
No.
Okay.
What are you doing? Top 3?
Top 3. Oh wait, real quick, before we do your top 3, and since Tom mentioned the +3, I know we weren't like talking about them. Song number 1 is a pretty fucking fabulous song. Like I kind of wish they were able to fit it on to the LP release. I probably would. It's probably one of those situations where like if they put another song on, it you have to get into a double album.
Yeah.
I feel like I've always known the album to have those 3 though.
Yeah. Not the LP. The LP does not have it.
But I don't remember the LP.
Right.
I'm pretty sure by the time I found this album, like, how long? What was the difference between them releasing it and releasing with the +3?
Like a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I never knew it without the 3 songs.
Okay. Song number 1 I think fits really well with the rest of the album. The other 2 songs that are in the +3 songs,
Yeah, they were kind of hit or miss.
Yeah. So, but Sean, I cut you off. What are your top 3 songs on this album?
I don't think I can do it. I don't think I could parse it out. I mean, certainly Merchandise and Styrofoam. I don't think I can do it. How about? Does anybody else think that Repeater is sort of like Fugazi doing Public Enemy? Does anybody else hear that?
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I can hear that. I mean, and that I think that speaks kind of to the genius of Fugazi and how, because I actually did not even realize this, that Repeater, the reason they called the album Repeater was actually, and I was almost taken aback by this. I was like, man, do I really like this band? The reason they called it Repeater was actually because of the Beatles' Revolver.
Oh, really?
Because Repeater, you just keep going around.
Yeah.
And that song in particular is about basically Washington D.C. and like the crack epidemic at that time, and it's about that and those sort of things there. So I mean, definitely when you look at that song, the lyrics, the cadence, the way that whole song goes, I can absolutely hear Public Enemy, and then Public Enemy has definitely been a very vocal political advocate for African Americans and just injustice in general. So it absolutely, no, I can definitely hear what you're saying with like the Public Enemy influence and vice versa on that.
Yeah, in a good way.
Are we boring you?
I don't think I can pick 3 songs from this one.
Okay, that is fair. I think Tom looked at my notes because my 3 favorite are Repeater, Shut the Door, and Merchandise. Shut the Door, like I said earlier.
I can't read your fucking handwriting anyway.
I know, it's fine.
You can't read your handwriting.
Sometimes I can't. You're right. Shut the Door is, man, like Repeater is definitely like my favorite song on the album. But like Shut the Door is like kind of like 1A, 1B, you know what I mean? Sort of deal.
You could have picked 4 other songs that I could have subbed. I just named 3 that I off the top of my head.
Yep.
But they're easy 3 more that you could have replaced them with.
Do you remember when we figured out that the beginning of the album with Turnover, when we finally realized that it wasn't a keyboard?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the fucking craziest thing in the world. And we're like, oh, all he does is hits a note and then turns his volume knob up. We're like, holy fuck! And then like we started doing it. We're like, we can do that. We can be like Fugazi.
No.
But no, I mean, what's that?
That's another thing about seeing them live is realizing that like the way they get those sounds is by like actually physically manipulating those guitars. And I've held his guitar, Ian MacKay's guitar, in my hand, and it is fucking annihilate. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
Actually, I asked him. I was so stunned. I was like, "What the fuck is holding this thing together?" And he laughed and he said, "Hope."
Yeah.
Things have been broken in every direction. It's insane.
Yeah. No, that is cool. I remember when you did that, Emily. I'm sure you saw. She took pictures of you talking to him and holding the guitar, but then she sent them to me as well, and I was like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah. I was so. When I was in the zone, I didn't know anybody was taking pictures, and afterwards, a bunch of people texted me pictures, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" Like amazing.
Yeah. No, that is pretty great. But yeah, no, and that is like that is one of the things too when you realize like some of those sounds they make, and it's like, man, these are organic. These are like real organic sounds where they're just hitting different parts of the strings and part of the bridge, and it's like, holy shit, your guitar can do that, and if you set your amp up a certain way, you could do that, and then using feedback to like to make a beautiful tone and a beautiful sound, and it's like, holy shit, like that's not that Birmingham 6 is anything that's great, but like the beginning of our last album, Move On, starts with fucking feedback that I sat there and played with to have that feedback tone at the beginning of the album. So the first like 30 seconds of the song is like, you got this tone there, which I fucking learned from Fugazi, from like watching them live, and like as Sean said, and just fucking trying to get the right tone, and fucking it actually didn't take long, which was like pretty good. I'm like, all right, I think I fucking got this down, and we got a nice tone that like opens up the album. But if you go back and listen to Move On, the beginning of that is definitely an homage to Fugazi with like the way that I used the feedback there.
On the way up here for last week's episode, Matt and I were driving in the car, and we were listening to something. I think we were listening to. I like to listen to the album we're covering one last time on the way up. So we were listening to Turn on the Bright Lights, and he was telling me that he recently discovered that something that they do on the album, they did by literally they'd play a note and then down tune the string. Yeah. And I'm like, I've seen actually a lot of people do that recently, where that's become like a fairly popular thing, where you play something and then down tune it, play it again, and tune it back up to standard. It's and same thing, just like I've seen weird shit like you hit something and then you basically just toggle your pickup selector to get some wacky ass fucking sound from it. So So it's definitely cool, the shit that you can.
Oh man, the stuff they can do, like, and that you can do with the guitars, it just blows my mind, which is probably why I'm a much better bass player. So
I always loved growing up. My first concert was actually your ex-wife took me to see Green Day.
Right.
The first concert that I always claimed to be my first concert was Zach took me to see Coheed and Cambria. And one of the things Coheed and Cambria would always do, the lead singer during the song Devil in Jersey City, the one line he would, everything else would drop out, but he would sing the line. He would turn the guitar back up to him, and he would basically put the strings up against his neck. So when he sang the line, it came through his guitar amp instead of the microphone.
Okay.
So just the wacky shit that you can do, and you can definitely hear it on this album. It's just like, it's definitely cool to figure out those tricks of tricks of the trade, where like, oh, I can do that thing that they do now because I just happened to watch some fucking video or see them live.
Yeah, well, and that is the amazing thing, is that they did do all of those noises, all those sounds, and they did them so perfectly, and they work so well. But they did it. They you know what I mean? It's not a sample. It's not pre-recorded. It's like they're actually doing those things live. And honestly, it's almost. And is kind of like probably like a down, like, I don't know, like an insult to Fugazi or whatever. But it's almost like the same shit that fucking Eddie Van Halen used to do, man. When like he would be like, I'm gonna make my guitar sound like a fucking drill.
I'm
You know what I
gonna
mean?
invent some shit right here, right now, in the middle of the solo.
Exactly, and it's definitely like on that same level. Like,
And he
where it's just
still
like,
couldn't get David Lee Roth shut the fuck up for 10 seconds while he did it.
You know, it was David Lee Roth.
David Lee Roth was not going to give up that spotlight under any circumstances.
Oh, real quick, I'm having this. This is not the first time I had it.
Oh,
this is
the OVP?
The OVP, the Oak Vanilla Port. Oh, yeah, man.
Fucking
This
fantastic.
is fucking delicious.
You down,
really
you,
is
you
good.
down with OVP?
I'm down with OVP. Yeah, you know me. So, yeah, man, this is Sean, I got, if you weren't aware, I got a one of the Sam Adams winter like holiday sample cases, and they have an oak vanilla porter. Sean, why don't you tell them about the first time that I bought beer underage, since we're talking about Sam Adams?
Yeah, with Sam Adams, I remember that. I remember you had your brother's ID, which looked nothing like you because you had a shaved head, I think.
Yeah, I did.
He had a mullet. And you gave the guy some bullshit about, what was your fucking story?
That like, oh man, yeah, I was out at school in California, so I didn't need to renew my license, so that's why it's expired. I just haven't gotten around to renewing it yet.
Yeah.
So, but they bought that shit. They bought that shit. So.
Shit, nowadays
Somewhere.
liquor stores won't even take your license if it says duplicate on it.
Oh, I know. I'm aware. I am aware. So, so with that said, I think we all love this album, right? It's a good album.
You're missing a segment.
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting there. I'm
Continue.
doing that right now. So, Sean's up again. Sean's up. Oh no. So we have to get on to the. Oh fuck! Where's my copy?
Oh wait, no, you are missing a segment.
What segment?
We did top 3. We didn't do bottom 1.
Oh fuck! I am missing a segment. Oh yes. Shit. Well, actually, where is my album though?
You put it away because Perry Como.
Is it upstairs still?
It was in the kitchen.
Oh fuck! All right, so it's still upstairs. So I
Need
can't
the
even
track
pull it.
listing?
No. Oh yeah. So least favorite song, Adam.
Least favorite. I mean, if I want to take the easy route out, Brendan number 1.
Really?
I like that song.
Really?
But here's
That's
the thing.
like one of those like top 4, like the
that's-
first
that's-
4 songs.
that's
No,
in
no,
my
but-
top
but
5
here's the
for
thing.
sure.
Like, it's very much like Interpol for you.
Okay.
I don't think I can pick a song that I like the least off this album, so I'm gonna go with the instrumental because that's what I've done in the past.
What's cool is
I'm gonna take the easy instrumental route because
Yeah,
I
I
can't
just
think of
dig that
anything
song.
else.
one of the 2 times, and I think it was the last time I saw them, they opened up with Brandon number 1.
See, I listening to it, I'm like, I dig it. I don't get me wrong. I like that song, but like just like as history has shown on this podcast, we tend to hate on the instrumental. So to keep with tradition, I'll hate on it just because I can't think of another song to list as my least favorite on this album.
All right.
For a minute, like you were talking about on Interpol, for a minute, I'm like, Shut the Door is playing, and I'm like,
What?
no, but that's the thing. I'm like, this is a little weird, and then I'm listening to it. I'm like, this is a good fucking song.
It is a good fucking song, man. It's like,
so I couldn't be mad at it.
That,
so
like that beginning of jan, 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 you know, with the fucking dissonance, and like literally they're playing two different things, and then the bass is doing something else, and the drums are jan, 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 jan. You know, it's not.
So
man, it's
I
a
don't
great
think
song.
I have a least favorite on this
Okay.
album. So if I had to pick one to take the easy route, I'd go the instrumental.
Brandon number one. Okay, all right. What do you got for least favorite, Tom? I can't believe I skipped segments.
I maybe have two, but
I've been drinking since 2:00.
My least favorite track, I think. Again, I don't hate it, but I'll say Greed.
Okay.
If I have to pick one that's like my, but again, I don't hate it. It's
All
just
right.
my least favorite.
Right. Sean, do you have a least favorite on this album?
I think I'd have to go with Adam and say if I had to leave one off, it would be the instrumental.
Wow.
But that being said, I love their instrumentals, man.
Yeah.
And I think they have an instrumental on every record.
They do.
Almost every.
They do.
And it was a good, like, I remember it was a good cop out for us. Like, if we couldn't get a song together, we'd be like, oh, it's an instrumental.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember that. We had a few instrumentals that were like, oh, we're going to do that because we're going to be Fugazi in the Philly version of Fugazi.
Philly Fugazi.
If I had to pick a song, and it's only because, like, I will say that, like, and again, I love the song and listen to it, and it is really hard for me, especially on this album, since I love it so much, to pick a least favorite song. But it's the song where I have found in the past, if I'm going to skip a song, this is the one it's going to be. It's going to be See Fisted Find. It's a good song. It's just like, I'm like, all right, come on, all right, cool. I'm gonna skip this one. Like, just let me get to the next one. You know, so that would be it for me.
I kind of had that feeling because Tom, you mentioned Greed, Paul, you mentioned See Fisted Find. Like, I kind of had that feeling while I was listening to the album. I'm like, when I'm listening to the albums for the podcast, I'm like, all right, this is on the top three, this is on the top three, and I'm listening. I'm like, is this one gonna be on my bottom? Is this gonna be the bottom? And I had that feeling for both of those songs. And then by the end of the song, I'm like, no, it's not. Like, this was a really tough one for me.
Yeah.
Which I did, honestly, I didn't expect it to be I didn't expect to enjoy this album as much as I did.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's great.
Has there been another record that the whole panel has agreed on before?
What do you mean?
When we did If I Should Fall from Grace of God, we were all pretty unanimously in love with that one.
And drunk.
I wasn't here, but I did love that album.
Yeah.
So you were in the Outer Banks.
Yeah, I very much love that album.
The whole table enjoyed Interpol last week.
Yeah, man, that was Sean. Are you familiar with it? Hey, what's up, Emily? We see you.
I see you.
What have you listened to Interpol at all?
Yeah, I heard a lot of it at the end of the '90s, I think.
Yeah. Turn on the bright lights, man. It's.
I knew some people who were playing it. That record in particular, I've heard, but I don't own it. Yeah, I should go back and check that out.
I will tell you, just based on what I know about your influences and my influences and like the music we were playing back in the day, that is 100% an album you should listen to. I had described it. It reminded me of a mix of Joy Division and Jejune.
Oh, that's
yeah. No, exactly. I knew you would get that. But no, definitely, I would go back and check that out. But yeah, that's probably an album that we like all unanimously enjoyed. I would stay away from what the fuck is the name of that band? Say Anything. Don't go anywhere near Say Anything. You're wasting your time there. So. Yeah,
it's understandable.
It is understandable. But that too, since I feel as if with Disunion, we were the pioneers of emo music in the 90s. You should go check out the Wonder Years because I think you and I directly influenced the Wonder Years.
Yeah, go listen to the Upsides, Sean.
Yes, the Upsides is a good album.
I thought we were Hard Cure. Wasn't that the thing?
Yes. Yes. So since I am beyond here and I've already skipped segments and I don't know where my fucking album is, apparently it's upstairs.
It's on the counter.
It's on the kitchen
Last
counter.
I saw it.
Okay. No, it's okay. It's all right. We don't need it. It's all good. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate it. So I actually bought my copy, believe it or not, from Hot Topic of all places.
Oh, really?
Yes. It was when I had actually decided that I was going to start collecting vinyl again. So this was like 2008, 2009. But I didn't own a turntable yet. So I'm like, I want to fucking start collecting records. So I went out and just started buying records, but I didn't have a turntable. And I did get to a point where, like, I got so many records. Wasn't many, like maybe like 10 records. I was like, all right, maybe I should not buy anymore until I finally
probably figure out how to listen to these things.
Exactly.
Until I have the means to play it, I should probably not buy anymore.
Exactly. So I got it in like 2008, 2009. But it was actually probably one of the first albums I bought when I started collecting again. I remember I was in the Chamonix Mall.
Yeah.
And I went into the Hot Topic there, and I bought the Misfits Static Age. I bought Fugazi Repeater, and I bought River City Extension, The Unmistakable Man, and the fourth one I bought one of the Johnny Cash Americana ones. I think it's like number 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I bought those albums that
I think
day.
I have that same album from Hot Topic.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So I bought those at Hot Topic. I think they might have been on sale, but at any rate, I got it for like $9.99. So my copy is a repress. The listing on Discogs does not give me what year it was repressed, but it was definitely before. It was basically between 2005 and 2008 repress. It was not the 2009 remastered version. The etchings on my copy do not match the 2009 repressing or remastered repress of Repeater. And I think there was also another 2020 repress or something like that. So there's been some repressings of this album since then. So my Very Good Plus MSRP on this album here is $37.29, bringing it up to $38. So I have a nice little return on investment there. That brings my running total up to $587. Adam, your running total is at $667 because of fucking Steel Train. You have an $80 lead on me.
Yep.
We have 20 albums left.
Really?
Yes. So
now that you mention that, like, we started this
in March.
In March, yeah, and we're in middle of November, so we're getting towards the end.
We have had 15 albums each. Okay, and this is the good thing. So we're 30 albums deep. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Let's give it up for Ryan. This is Tom's kid, Ryan, right there. Give me 5, kid. All right, she's been hanging out all day, so we appreciate you. How are those candy canes? They're good. All right,
So
cool.
2 fist and candy canes.
Yep.
Fine.
All right, so we are 15 albums each deep in this. So figuring that out, so my average value per album is at $40 per album. Your average per album is at $45 per album.
Okay.
So we're not really that far off, even though it's like an $80 total difference. Our average is not that far off. What are you looking at there, Sean?
Well, I have Repeater on vinyl from Hospital Record Garage.
Yeah.
I never owned it on vinyl before that.
I'm sorry, Sean. Is that OttsvilleRecordGarage.com?
Sure. You tell me. I don't fucking
Yes, it is.
I had it on a cassette that probably disintegrated.
Uh-huh.
I may have had it on CD. I might have it on CD somewhere. But I do have the 3 songs.
Oh.
Is that autographed?
No.
No.
Oh, it looks like an autograph scribbled on the front.
Paul just signs it when he sends it out.
Yes, I do. No, he didn't get that from me.
Signs Ian Mackay on the front when he sends it out the door.
I have no idea where I got it from, but it costs $3.49.
I bet you
Nice.
it is worth more than that at this point too. So I you know what's kind of cool too. So it was, I can't remember if it was End Hits or Argument. One of them. And I remember you did this for me. We were both working at Sugar Moms at the time, and I can't remember which one it was. I know it was definitely one of them, but they did another little 3-song thing. And so Sean, coming into work, I worked the morning shift. He was coming in at night. For whatever reason, went over to the record store that was right on 2nd Street, which was that Philadelphia Record Exchange.
Man, I always get that one mixed up. I don't remember what that one was.
Yeah,
called,
but there was one. It was on 2nd Street, just north of Market Street. And Sean comes into Sugar Moms to relieve me and hands me at the time, and it was a little like additional 3-song thing, but it was a little like mini CD of whatever the 3 songs were, and I can't remember if that was from. Again, it was either End Hits or Argument. I remember, but Sean went and gave me like the Matt treatment, like he gives, like Matt gives you.
Yeah.
He bought me a little gift out of nowhere, so I
Nice.
appreciated that. So
Yeah.
I think I still have that. So, but I am coming up on you.
Yeah.
I'm coming up. There's only a $5 per record difference. We will
Just gotta wait till Paul's steel train.
exactly. We'll have to wait. I don't think I have my steel train. That's the sad part. Like I've looked through my records. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not catching them.
Yeah.
I really don't think I am.
Yeah.
But at any rate, you want to grab the box of Mike there?
Yes, absolutely.
So, Sean, you know our box of Mike is all Rush themed, and you know we now have our skunk
Michael
friend
Stripe.
Michael Stripe. Have you met Michael Stripe?
I don't think so.
This is Michael Stripe. He is our
love it.
mascot. He is our skunk pelt. He is the mascot of the Oddsville Record Garage and the Country Hipster Podcast. And
I say since
so, wait, real quick. What is your favorite Michael story?
Oh, man. Probably. I'm still afraid of him. I don't know if I want to tell the story.
Tell it.
Probably when we got into the closet and put his like satin jacket and his sunglasses on, and we were like, I don't remember who, but one of us was chasing the other one around impersonating Mike, and he walked in.
And we had this big snap-on fucking
He had
mug.
the snap-on jacket
which-
and the,
Yeah, we had a snap-on mug which had like a bikini girl on it, which we called the Holy Grail for whatever reason. and he fucking walks in with his fucking like curly hair, and he was probably like, "What are you, an asshole? What are you doing?"
exactly. I think
Yeah.
that's-
Give me my Ray-Bans. What do you get them off your face, you asshole? Don't play my drums. So
As much as your brothers kicked our asses, we definitely deserved it.
oh, I'm not saying we never did. I'm just saying it definitely happened. So you never got to experience any of that side of Mike, did you?
no Mike, as long as like Mike to me has always been like Mike's the oldest.
Talk loud.
Yeah, Mike's the oldest, so Mike has always been kind of like the when the adults aren't around, Mike's the adult. Like
That's pretty fucking scary.
so, like Mike was always the adult. Brian was always the like we're gonna set shit on fire or build something.
Yeah.
And then Paul was like the hey, you're gonna help me move, but I'm gonna let you look at Playboys in the back of the van when you're like 12 years old.
That is not inaccurate.
Yeah. Like Mike was the adult, Brian was the one where like he was we were gonna set shit on fire, and then Paul was always like the fun one.
Yes, I am the fun one.
Yeah.
I'm fucking fun. I am. So so we have the box of Mike here. I think because Sean cannot be here in person to pick this, I think we should have Ryan pick.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Since Sean is digital, we do have Ryan here to
Yes.
pick for us. So
Yes.
I'll
So-
hand that over to you.
No,
ahead.
sit down.
Go ahead. So
Ryan,
pick-
what's your
pick
favorite
an album.
Rush album? Let's put
Oh
Ryan.
yeah, what's
You
your
got a favorite Rush album?
Do you have a favorite one? Have
you ever heard of Rush?
albums? Which one would you like to have facing forward? This
The one
one,
with the guy's butt in it,
That guy?
or that one?
I don't know.
that guy, or this one?
I don't know.
We'll go with moving pictures.
Moving
because-
Pictures is the
because it's
go-to.
The one
usually
with
the
the guy's
safe bet.
butt.
Yes. So go ahead, pick one there.
All right,
All right, there you go. All right, we got number 43 here.
That's a good
What are
number.
you doing to Michael Stripe over there?
His nose is very rigid.
It is very good. Here, put Michael Stripe back up there.
Michael Stripe's been
In the
dead
box
for
of Mice.
35
So we got
years.
we
so-
got number 43 here, which will determine what we are picking next. Now, here's the funny thing: are you good for next Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay, so we talk about
next Sunday.
the box of Mike.
Yeah. Oh, because you were talking about that. Yeah.
Yes, we talk about the box of Mike, and our special guest, regardless of what we pull here, is going to be our brother Michael on
Awesome.
next week's episode of the. But yes, there you go. But I will say this: that whatever we pull here, this is actually going to be 2 weeks from now. Next week on the Country Hipster Podcast, we did this in reverse. We actually recorded it first, and now we're recording this episode. Next week's episode is our special Christmas episode of the Country Hipster Podcast. So make sure you tune into that one. It's going to be a good time. We talk about all things Christmas and Christmas music. It's going to be a lot of fun. So this whatever I pull here from envelope number 43 is going to be in 2 weeks, and we will have a special guest of our brother Mike, the oldest and the namesake of the box of Mike. This is Yellow. Oh fuck, man, really?
Is it me?
It is you.
What do you
It's
got?
not even that good.
What do you got?
Man, fucking the White Stripes, Deja Still.
Deja Stills?
Man, I am not looking forward to this album. I
This
just
horribly water damaged version of this album.
yes, yeah.
Right there.
There we go. That's I really, you know what? I think we should hold the cover value against you for the Discogs.
You said
value.
cover value doesn't matter.
It doesn't, but I need to fucking make up $5 per album
This album
here. So
stinks anyway.
oh man. All right, so this is another one of those ones where I know I'm going to be like, Jesus Christ, why? Why do we have to listen to this? But it's apparently one of Adam's top 25 albums of all time. And we get to talk about it with our brother Mike, who's probably just going to turn around and look at us and go, what are you, an asshole?
Yeah.
Because that's what he does. So on that note, do we have anything else to say here?
Listen to Repeater.
Listen to Repeater. Ryan, how do you feel about Fugazi Repeater?
Just good?
Just good? All right, she thinks it's good. Sean, you got anything else here?
Not at all.
Not,
No idea
all
what
right,
you're
it has
talking
been a
about.
pleasure. Thank you very much, Sean, for Skyping in with us.
For,
We
yeah,
got you.
for being our first digital
Yes,
guest.
you're like our Max Headroom.
Max
you
Headroom.
are like our fucking
Pretty
our-
fucking-
what's that?
That's pretty fucking weird.
It is. It is weird. It is weird. But this is great. This was like our good like test run for having, out of town guest on the podcast.
Like,
so.
it reads way better on the camera than I thought it would. so
Yeah,
which
it really
is
does. It really does. So you'll have to.
Once he turned the lights on, it was fine.
Yes, like I know you do. You do listen to the podcast. Do you watch it at all?
No, I haven't sat down and watched. I've seen clips of it, because when you queue it up, it
Okay.
automatically goes to the video, and then when you link it to something else, the video drops off. So
Yeah.
I've seen, an
Okay.
idea of what it looks like.
But no, this actually does not look horrible. So you
No.
know, so we'll
I feel
go
like
from
it's
there.
like, is it like the Grammy Awards or something when like Aerosmith can't be there because they're on tour?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty fucking accurate. So you are Aerosmith now. So there you
DMX
go.
is in jail again, so we're gonna have to do this.
Awesome. Well, thank you. You have joined the Country Hipster podcast at the Outsville Record Garage from a completely different state. Thank you for joining us, Sean. Keep us up to date.
Most importantly, thanks for letting us use your song as our fucking theme song.
Yes, yes.
You can
That-
have all.
Did I tell you we renamed Dirty Knife for the Christmas episode? It's now called Jolly Knife
That's great.
because we're gonna I think I told you we're gonna put the sleigh bells in there for that. So we're gonna have sleigh bells going with us, and now it's called Jolly Knife. So there you go. But yes, the Unholy Four. You can check them out on Spotify and Bandcamp, and I know they have an Instagram. And is there anywhere else the Unholy Four where it's available to listen to? Yeah, I know you have no fucking clue, right? Yep. And
I found you guys on Apple Music, so
there
you
you
can
go.
find
You're
them
on
on
Apple Music
too.
as well.
The
So
music.
yep. So check out the Unholy Four from Charlottesville, Virginia. And we'll keep you updated as to whatever other musical adventures Sean has there, because he has many of them. And with that note, I guess it is time to move on.